Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, this is Make Them Tech. If you observed very well, I've been away for some time now, but I'm happy to tell you that I'm back. And today we have something interesting before us titled Moving from Express to Nest, a simple introduction to the basics of Nest. Yeah, so we are going to be talking about Nest in this tutorial. Next is a robust framework that is opinionated and follows a modular architectural design. We are talking about a framework that has dependency injection, decorators, and allows you to modularize your code base. Uh, Talking about Nest is actually built on top of Express and Fastify. By default, it uses Express, but you are free to tweak it to look like Fastify. So the choice is yours. And then when you look at the core of Nest, we have actually written three things out here. We can see modules, controllers, providers. In Express, we are familiar with controllers, we are familiar with services, and so on. So for Nest, Nest has modules, has controllers, has providers. Modules are what help you to organize your code into logical units. The controllers, as we all know, they are handlers to receive your incoming HTTP requests and route them to the appropriate services. And then providers in this case are like actors, the doers. They handle the business logic of your code base. So talking about the likes of services, we all know that one, but um, Nest is trying to do what we call separation of concern here. So we have factories, we have repositories, anything that can be injected, any class whatsoever, they are classified as providers as long as they are classes and they are handling a particular business logic of your code. Then talking about folder structure here, we are used to role-based in Express. A lot of people are using that. So I know some you can still, Express is flexible. You can structure your code base in whatever way you like. So, but when it comes to Nest at high level, is basically feature based. Then at low level, then you can have your role based stuff. For example, you are building an e-commerce application, you have auth folder, you can have users folder, you can have products folder, you can have payment folder, and inside those folders, you have their controllers, modules, providers. So, and if you have more than one controller or you have more than one services, then you have them in another folder. So this is just what Nest is all about, basically. So now we are going to get started. So I will just type something now. So you can either install your let's say moving from from Express, moving from Express to Nest. So you can either install Nest CLI globally, or you can decide to localize. So like what I'm doing now. So this is just to introduce to you, especially if you are coming from Nest. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. It's actually Nestjs. Yeah. So you can decide to install globally, or you do this stuff I'm doing now. Yes, so now we have our next VS project already set up. So let's try to open the application in our VS Code. Okay, so for some of us that write TypeScript, I want to believe we are familiar with this. So these are the files that came with Nestjs. Okay, so let me just quickly run through what is in the package.json. So we have the Nestjs common core. Then you can see the Express. So this is what I can say is actually Nestjs default under the old framework. Yeah. So, but you are free to tweak it to fastify. And then I want to underscore this that Nest TypeScript is actually a first class citizen in Nest. So you should bear that in mind that if you want to enjoy Nest, I think it's better you go the route of TypeScript. It's possible to also write it in plain JavaScript, but it's advisable you go the route of TypeScript to enjoy a lot of benefits. So, going through what we have here, we have the main.ts. So this is what you use to start your server. It's similar to what we call server.js or index.js or app.js or ts, whatever you are using in your Express. Take for example, this is server.js. I believe we are familiar with this, where you have your const app is equal to Express, and then you have app.listen, and then you run your application. So going back to this, I can also, I think I would love to do something similar here, where we have console.log. So you can say server running on port 3000. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is cool. Okay, so now app use the app dot whatever that you are seeing here, I can say they are the grandparents of all the features you are going to be adding to this code base. Take for example, you want to add users, you want to add products, you want to add auth, you want to add payments, you want to add all those modules or all those features. So they will get to be registered inside this app.module here, where you have them as. So this is where all the modules will be. Then the global any global thing you have will actually come under any of these, especially providers. So let's get that straight. In my subsequent videos, you get to know more. So we have controllers just the way we have it in Express, and then we have the service just the way we have it also in Express. So another thing I want to say is that when I mentioned dependency injection the other time, so this decorator actually helps you to sort that out. So and then this is so for providers, we have three types of provider. We have class provider, we have factory provider, we have value providers. So this is actually an example of a class provider. Yeah, so it can be injected into a controller, it can be injected into another service, into another provider. So that is what it is. So getting straight to the main business, let's say we want to add to this particular class a method called get users. Get users. So I can simply just say const users is equal to let's say I have something like this. uh okay, so I think I have something to quickly use instead of typing all over again. So let's say we have this data that we want to use. That's name, gender, age. Then I can simply come here and do return users, and then that's it. So now I can move to controller, my controller, that's app controller, and then I can do a get. So let me just bring this down. That's get user. Don't need this. I can okay, so that's get users. Yes, so this is what we have, but you see that this is a controller. It doesn't have any this thing. For example, now if I want to be doing the base URL of this code base, /something/something. This is where I get to do all of that. So for this now, just so that we have it as /users, so I can easily put my users here. Then let's go to Thunder client and then see what will happen. Okay, so but even before that, let me even run this application and then we can test it out. So we have npm run start dev. Okay, so okay, so server is currently running on port 3000. So let me just close this and then let's go to Thunder clients. Oh, so we get to see what the application looks like. So I'm going to be putting local host 3000. So let's first of all test this out. So you can see status 200. Okay, hello world. So that is what we have here inside our sorry, this guy here. So now let's test out our get users uh, as new requests. So I have local /users and then boom. So this is what we have. Okay, so personally I might not be too comfortable with this response payload. We can also, decide to do something like this if we are not comfortable with that. So we have something like this and then I can go back and fire again. So we have something like this. So we can see that it's easy to bootstrap a simple application in Nest. So another thing you might be interested in is, okay, how do we also post into this? Okay, so I might want to do something like, okay, so let's carry this old data, this old guy. Let's carry this guy to, let's make it a private property of this class. Yeah, so I think this is fine. Okay, so we have what we call users. So this would be so I can say const users is equal to this dot users, and then this is what we have. Then for post I can say create user. So for create user I can say data, and then from there I would say this dot users dot push whatever that is coming to join this. So and then I can return my user that has just been, okay, I'll just return the data. Yeah, yes. So I think this is an example of a post request. Let's go to our controller and do something interesting here. So now there is a post decorator we can use. So these are decorators actually. All these things you are seeing, they are decorators in Nestjs. Okay, so here we can say create. So this is the controller method, create user, and then I will now put create user here. So this is expecting an argument. So here now for some people, they would want to make their Nest.js project look like Express. So they might want to be using the request decorator. We actually have a request decorator like this that you can use. We have that of response you can use, but sometimes you might also want to do it the next way. You understand? So we have what we call body operator that is going to help you. So which is more like your request.body. Yeah. So and we still have raw body also. So these are some of the things we have in Nest. So we have what we call body. And at this junction, you are supposed to pass your data transfer object, that's your DTO. So, but because of the sake of this tutorial, because we don't want to be installing the validators that is needed to execute that, so but I will just write a comment so you get to know when next you see something like this, that this is supposed to be like body, then you pass something like it create user DTO. So it's supposed to be like this. Then I can pass my body here. Then going back to our service is also a good thing to do here also. That's create user DTO. So actually class is very good when you use it. Some people might want to say, okay, why can't I use interface and less? But it's best to use classes for this, because when your TypeScript gets compiled to JavaScript, it is very possible, or let me say, it is just normal for class to be taken over down to JavaScript, because there are classes, or let me say, prototypes in JavaScript, because actually classes are syntactic sugar. They are actually functions under the hood in JavaScript. So that means you will not lose the shape of that object even after compilation or transpilation, anyone you call it. So in this case now, if you are using interface, you still lose it at the point of transpilation. So that's why for data transfer object, you don't want to joke with it. But any other thing you have in your this, you can be using your interface and that's to run it, because they actually gives you discipline before. So because of pre-compilation. Yeah. So but this one, you don't have control over your DTO. It's actually coming from an external stuff. So I would recommend you stick with the provision of Nest. So at this point now, I'm going to test this out and then we get to see how it looks like. Let me see in my controller, what am I using? Post, so this and that. Okay, so let me now, okay, let me just create a new request so that, okay, yeah. So now let's say we have local host, this, and then I change it to posts, and then I come to this guy. Okay, so let me just go and copy something I have already because of time. So yeah, so let me post it here and then let me fire. So now this is what we have. So we can see. Now let's go to our get request. So let's see, do we have it there? Yes, we have it. So that is it. So we have it here. So now we have been able to test out the the code easily without any issue. So, but in my next tutorial, you get to know about how to modularize because in this case now we're talking about user, so you'll probably be seeing the user folder and some other stuff. So, and this brings us to the end of this tutorial. Now, guys, please, if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do so. Please subscribe. Let's build this channel together. Let's build it together. Let's reach 1,000, beyond 1,000 and the like. So, and when you subscribe, please turn on the notification bell so that when I post a new video, you'll be the first person to be notified. Yeah. So, thank you.